This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
Welcome back to iShine Connect.
You are responsible for one of the most iconic songs in history concerning the Lord's return. The King is coming. Then you wrote a counterbalance to that. And what was the title of that song that you wrote?
Between the cross and heaven. That's what the Bible is all about. The Bible is about perspective. And the Bible, you talk about balance.
If you wind back to when we met each other in the 70s, it was either charismatic or non-charismatic.
Yeah.
And that line is somewhat blurred. Speak on that for a minute.
I would love to. I think that day is over. And I think the praise and worship stuff has helped it out tremendously. I think, Billy Graham did that early. Some of the people he had on his platform, he was criticized for because he was opening his arms just a little bit too wide.
Have you ever, you and Gloria, who she's more the wordsmith and you're more the music smith, and you write all this stuff together. How many songs now?
The copyright people tell us we have done maybe close to 800 or 900 songs. See, the message is the same today and yesterday. But my friend, I hate to tell you this, the package it comes in is in all different kinds of packages.
All right. What do you get challenged in? You're an optimist. You're always looking for the bright side of things.
Yeah.
What have you faced that your own music needed to help you through?
I think one of my biggest challenges, and it gets me up in the morning, it really does, and that is how to try to communicate the gospel. That's a challenge, and I'll get up in the morning, and when I do get a letter from a guy saying, you got to understand, I'm a skeptic, but I've been watching you guys. I think I believe what you're saying. I want to be part of that. Now, that can get me out of bed any morning, and that can help me write a new song that maybe could be a bridge for them from unbelief to belief.
How do you want to be remembered?
As a bridge, I got to come back to John 17. Father, may they be one. On a given day, we are anything but one. I don't think it's necessary for us to agree on everything. Gloria's got a line in the I Then Shall Live song that says, I'll dare to see another's point of view. One person said, what do you mean I dare to see another's point of view? He said, I'll dare to look at it. The person asked, said, well, there's only one point of view. Gloria said, is that the reason there's 5,000 different denominations all around the world who say they all love Jesus as much as we love Jesus? We might want to look at some of it, not to adopt it for ourselves necessarily. I really have tried to reach out to people that I didn't understand that well. And after I got to know them, I found out they knew a part of Jesus that I didn't know. For instance, probably had not Oral Roberts come along, every time we got a headache, we'd have gone and reached for the aspirin bottle before we thought about praying. Did we need C.S. Lewis to come along with that brilliant mind? I mean, what a wonderful tool. And had we not had some of these thinkers, had we not had the Catholics come along and say, you need to get quiet. You need to have some time for meditation. I don't think theologically that's a bad thing to get quiet. At the same time, thank God for the Pentecostals. Say, if you don't shout, if you don't dance, if you don't move, you're going to miss a great, great, great joy. And when it all comes together, it's a beautiful thing.
I have to admit, this is not a complete surprise ending in our conversation. I'm not surprised by this. But for you to say you want to be remembered as a bridge, and then you start citing all these different, tribes of this great family of God, and this, what we would call the kingdom or the bride of Christ, and all the different pieces. One of the biggest dividing lines that I think the line is being blurred now in modern time, but if you wind back to when we met each other in the 70s, it was either charismatic or non-charismatic. And that line is somewhat blurred. Speak on that for a minute.
I would love to. when we wrote, let's just praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Let's just lift our hands toward heaven and praise the Lord. We had a dear old sister. She was so sweet. She was so sweet. She came and said, now, Brother Gaither, now when you said, let's just lift our hands to heaven, did you mean one hand? I'm not making it. You can't make this stuff up. Did you mean one hand or two hands? And I said, you know, I think the Lord would be happy if you just lifted anything to him. You know, your hair, your praise. I mean, you know, and to think, and she was as serious as she could be, but she was really hung up on that. Now, you know what? I don't call that theology. I call that a cultural response, expression to God. To some people, you know.
I just can't help it.
Yeah, yeah.
My hands just go up. So how are these people keeping their hands?
Yeah. But after I say all of that, back to your question, yes, I think that day is over, and I think the praise and worship stuff has helped it out tremendously.
If I had my druthers, and I don't know if this will be true of my life, but I want it to be, I would like to be remembered as she gave herself away for things that last forever. I don't want to spend my life on stuff that doesn't last. Is there any eternity in it? Because eternity starts at the moment of commitment to Jesus. It isn't heaven someplace else. It's here and now. Maybe people squeak in at the end of life, but what kind of a, catch-up course do we have to take after we get to heaven because we missed what was eternal our whole life? I mean, so if everybody gets saved, which I don't know who gets saved. I don't get to make that call. Jesus does. But I think grace is going to be bigger than we think. It doesn't matter if you're not up to speed and you have to spend the first, 1,000 years. There will not be years, but on a catch-up course about what was eternal, and you're going to look back and say, that was all going on and I never noticed. Like Emily in the play Our Town by Thornton Wilder. And she said, all that was going on and I never noticed. Then she says, oh world that's here, you are too wonderful for anybody to realize you. And she turns to the stage manager and she says, does anybody realize life while they're living it every moment? And he says, oh, not many. The poets probably, and the theologians maybe, but most people don't know life while they're living it. Oh, what a waste. And I would love to come to the end of my life and saying, as much as the capacity of human life will allow you, she got it. And now that it's over, she can really get it.
We wrote a song called Fully Alive in Thy Spirit. Lord, make me fully alive of your awareness, Lord. Lord, make me fully alive. I don't know how long I have on planet Earth. God knows my birth date, and he knows my death date. But I hope I'm fully alive to the very ending. I pray that prayer, Lord, make me fully alive, clear to the very end. And on a given day, Lori and Matt, heaven sounds awfully good. How beautiful heaven must be, sweet home of the happy and free, fair haven of rest for the weary. How beautiful heaven must be. And thank God for the promise of heaven.
When you look for champions, you look to CBS Sports. CBS thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
This is CBS.